Okay, I think if I share it first, then it doesn't work. Okay, I think we'll start with Mangalacharan. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you for joining. Let's begin with the Mangalacharan prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Sa Padantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे Hare Krishna, everyone. And so today we are going to start the summarizing the Canto 3, chapter 1 to 5. Before that, I'm quickly going to summarize Canto 1 and 2. That was the last thing we did in the previous session. So within like few minutes, we'll have Canto 1 at glance, and similarly with Canto 2, so that we have a flow of what we have studied. Hare Krishna Babu. So Canto 1 begins with the prelude. Here, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Canto 1 begins with the prelude of the three prayers of Sri Vyasadeva, and basically he's offering prayer to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And he's also defining the absolute truth in the very first verse. And in the second verse, he's talking about that what is Srimad Bhagavatam? It is the literature which is going to focus only on pure devotional service. And then the third verse, he invites devotees to relish Srimad Bhagavatam. Then he describes that the Bhagavatam begins with a question and answer. And this question and answer is a discussion between Suta Goswami and uh, and the sages of Naimisharanya. So I'm looking for that. Where is that? Okay. Yeah. Here is Suta Goswami. I don't know what is this happening. Yeah. Okay. Srila Suta Goswami, who was present in the when there was a discussion between Maharaj Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami was going on, he was present there. So, and sages of Nairasharanya headed by Sonak Rishi, he asked certain questions to him. So, in particular, he asked 6 questions. And those summary of those 6 questions are: what is the ultimate good for humanity? Right? What is the essence of all scriptures? And he also wanted to understand about the appearance of Krishna, and he wanted him to describe the Purusha avatars, Lila avatars, and what happened after Krishna left this planet. Right? After Lord's disappearance, where do people take shelter? Right? So, in essence, Sutta Goswami, he answers very quickly in chapter 2, verse 6 to 29, he describes that the ultimate process is the process of bhakti. Right? This is ultimate good for anyone, right? People in general and anyone. And the essence of all the scriptures is also bhakti. Right? So without taking shelter of bhakti, people cannot go back home, back to Godhead. Right? Then he describes about Lord's appearance in chapter 3, and on he describes the Purusha avatars, the Leela avatars, and then he says that after Krishna left, the Srimad Bhagavatam was spoken by Vyasadeva. So people can take shelter in Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the Paribhasa Sutra of um, the entire Srimad Bhagavatam, and we studied in a lot of details when His Grace Amarendra Prabhu when he came. Hare Krishna Prabhu, I welcome. So we discussed that in a lot of details. The Paribhasa Sutra, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swami. He took us through a long journey for like 15, 20 classes. In so much detail, he explains this particular sutra, Krishnastu Bhagavan Swami. Hmm. So this is a verse which is where people should take shelter after Krishna left this world. They should take shelter on Srimad Bhagavatam. So then there is a second set of questions which was asked once the answer was given to first 6 questions in first 3 chapters. The second set of questions was asked that how or when, where, and how on this where did Shri Vyasadeva compile Hare Krishna Mata? Where did Shri Vyasadeva compile Srimad Bhagavatam? And then because while the discussion of the first 3 chapters were going on, these topics came up about discussion about Maharaj Parikshit also came up. So naturally the question about Vyasdev, Maharaj Parikshit, and Sukadev Goswami. This 3 questions were asked. So this is the second set of questions. Right? So then all the rest of the chapters is discussing about Vyasdev, how he compiled the Vedic literature, and so on and so forth. And then the discussion about Maharaj Parikshit comes, that how Krishna saves Maharaj Parikshit in the womb. That comes on little later. But before that, there is a particular chapter which is of interest to us, and that is chapter 13. So suddenly in the middle of all this discussion, chapter 13 comes up, and in that it is discussed that Vidura, he went for pilgrimage and he comes back. He comes back for pilgrimage, and the only purpose of his coming back for the pilgrimage is to save his brother. He wanted his brother Dhritarashtra to be saved. So for that reason, he comes back. So therefore, he convinces Dhritarashtra as well as his wife Gandhari, and then they all leave this place. So that is why this chapter is titled as Dhritarashtra quits home and he attains success. He attains success of his life, because at the end of life, whoever can remember Krishna at the time of death, that is success. Right? But he didn't get the ultimate success. He get the intermediate success because he didn't have that much faith on Krishna. So this is a chapter which will be very important for us to connect with chapter Canto 3, because Canto 3 begins here.
So this is in Canto 2, though?
This is in Canto 1. I'm just quickly summarizing Canto 1, that what's going on. So after that, the third set of questions was about Maharaj Parikshit and how he ruled, how he protected his citizens and all these things. That is this third set of questions. So there's a lot of discussion between Dharma and Dharini, and all these discussions are there. So that is a third set of questions. And then the fourth set of questions, which is the beginning of Canto 2. And it is actually discussed in the last sections, the second last verse of Canto 1. And what is that question? So this is Canto 2. So these 2 questions were asked by Maharaj Parikshit. Why Maharaj Parikshit asked? Because Maharaj Parikshit gave up his kingdom. He was a great ruler. However, he was cursed to die in 7 days. He was cursed to die in 7 days. So he was thinking, what should I do? Because I just have 7 days to live. So at that time, by the will of Lord, by the will of Krishna, Sukadev Goswami arises at the scene. And he asks Sukadev Goswami this question, that, O Guru of the saints, show the way of perfection for all persons, and especially for one who is about to die.
So प्रभु, यानी कि जो पहले वाले questions थे, वो सूता गोस्वामी से पूछे गए थे, शौनका ऋषि, right? Parikshit Maharaj didn't ask those, or maybe,
No, Parikshit Maharaj was not in
Yeah.
the scene.
yeah.
Was not in the scene. No.
So ये परीक्षित महाराज के पहले क्वेश्चंस है,
Yes.
जब उन्होंने देखा तब उनके ये पहले
पहले
क्वेश्चन।
questions. It's good to have an overall idea, what's going on.
Yeah.
That's why I'm repeating again and again, because
Yeah,
then
आपको तो
then-
कंठस्थ हो गई होगी, आपको तो
Then-
याद हो गई होगी सब
Ji,
कुछ।
please don't say anything,
Yeah.
okay? We know you.
मेरे लिए तो मत ही बोलो आप लोग।
So then he asked this another question. Please let me know what a man should hear, what he should chant, what he should remember or worship, and what he should not do. Right? What he should do and what he should not do with them. So to this, when the questions when Maharaj Parikshit asked this question, Sukadeva Goswami was so happy because this question is applicable to everybody at all period of time. It is applicable to everybody at every time. So therefore, he immediately answers these questions by saying that Hare Krishna. One who is able to remember Krishna at the time of death. Hare Krishna. Aish. Welcome.
नया साल
नए साल मुबारक हो. Happy New Year to everybody. Yes. Happy Vasanta Panchami to everybody. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna Mataji. So feel free to sit anywhere you want,
Yes.
except you sleep. I don't want you to do that.
या तो मुझे कपड़े चेंज करने थे, या फिर मुझे नहीं आना था। I decided I'll come, but
तो यहाँ पे वहाँ पे आराम से बैठते हैं। ऐसे वो प्रभु ने सीट रोक के रखा है।
मैं इसीलिए बैक बेंच पे बैठता हूँ यहाँ पे सो
कोई
सकता है।
बैठने का।
मैं सोने नहीं दूंगा।
I might sleep. So.
Yeah, we'll see. Today we are doing some interesting discussions.
These are all three canto summary.
No, today is supposed to be Canto 3, chapter 1 to 5. However, I'm doing little diversion, and we'll see. Okay, so so far clear.
Question. Did he describe already how Parikshit is born and all? No.
Yeah, it is all discussed.
Already done.
Yeah, it is done in the Canto 1. Birth of Maharaj Parikshit,
Oh,
where how Krishna saved Parikshit Maharaj in the womb.
that is done.
All that is done in Canto 1. Right. So his whole life and how he ruled, and he went from, he was not only ruling, he was ruling the entire world actually. It was discussed in one of the purport of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, that he was ruling the entire world. And also he was traveling to different places, and wherever he was traveling, he was very happy to hear about his ancestors like the Pandavas and Krishna.
And Krishna.
So those kind of discussions, he was very happy to hear that. However, one time, by the will of Lord, that is what Prabhupada is also discussing, and all our predecessor Acharya, they also say the same thing. By the will of Lord, one time he went for, the Kshatriyas are meant to practice killing the animals. So he went to the jungle, and when he went to the jungle, normally he has control over his senses, but that particular instance, he lost his mind and he was very, very thirsty. So he went to a hermitage where Shamika Rishi was doing meditation. So he enters there and he tries to, ask him to get some water, but he was not responding because he was deep in his meditation. So because he was not received well, what he did, he took a dead snake which was there and put him as a garland. He garlanded him with a dead snake. And his son heard that Parikshit Maharaj did this, so he cursed. So the Brahmanas had potency to curse even the kings. Now, it is Prabhupada also says this, and Acharya also says that he could counteract that curse. He was so powerful, but he didn't know because he saw that as the will of the Lord. Krishna must have some plans for me. So he gave up his kingdom, and then he was thinking, what should I do for these 7 days? While he was sitting in the bank of river Yamuna. Some place in Bhagavatam it is given Ganga. However, Srila Jiva Goswami said it is Yamuna river. So on the bank of river Yamuna, at that time, Sukadeva Goswami comes. And then he asks these questions, these 2 particular questions. Right. So Sukadeva Goswami then he tells him that what one should do, one should actually chant the glories of Krishna here remember the pastimes of Krishna? So that's what his answer is. We are not going into details of the answer. But the first chapter, he's saying that that is the ultimate answer, that Ante Narayana Smriti. If we can remember Krishna at the time of death, that is our success. If we cannot remember, that is a failure of life. Right? So therefore, he said, but everybody cannot go to that path directly. So one has to begin from the bottom stage. So therefore, he starts in this first chapter itself. He says that there are different kinds of yogis. Yogis who are attached and yogis who are detached. So for the attached yogi, there is a krama mukti. For the detached yogi, they can directly go back to home, back to Godhead, or get liberation via the path of Ashtanga yoga. So he is explaining different yoga process. But ultimately, it is the bhakti yoga that is the most important for all of us.
He explained later what is the krama.
Karma mukti, if you remember, we saw that diagram and I can show you.
Oh,
Do you remember that?
don't deviate.
Yeah, I mean, I can quickly go over because that's important. Actually, devotees can also take this path. We can also take this path of Krama Mukti, this one.
Okay.
Do you remember, right? So this says that, this is for the Ashtanga Yoga. So you go through Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayam, and then Pratyahara means you have to give up the home. Actually, you have to give up home and then you have to go practice Pratyahara. You cannot practice at home. Right? So you have to give up, and then while practicing this, if you still have desire, then your meditation, what you are doing on is dharanashraya. Whatever you are meditating is, today you will be more clear of what I was saying here. Is the your object of meditation is Virat Rupa. However, if you are a detached yogi, means your desires are fulfilled or you don't have any desires, then your object of meditation is Paramatma. And then you can go through dhyana, samadhi, and then Brahman realization. Or you take this path and then you go through this whole route. And gradually you can get bhakti. Okay? So this is called as Krama Mukti. माता जी आपका गलत दुख जाएगा, आप इधर वहां पे आ जाइए. हाँ.
Thank you. So, Prabhu, sorry. So, once you do the yama niyama and all that, then desire, the वहाँ पे desire may be yes desire, no desire, and then there are two routes. Thank you, Prabhu. Sorry to disturb you.
आपका भी दुख है अभी.
नहीं आप इधर हो ना,
Yeah.
आप इधर चरणों में आओ, मैं चरणों में बैठ.
नहीं मैं इनको देखता रहता
That's it. Okay, I can keep. No, I cannot keep
हूँ.
anything.
Question.
So, no desire, then dhyana, samadhi, and then Brahman realization.
No
But-
desire, then here. Yes.
So, this desire is what desire? Desire. to-
Material desires.
Material desires.
Yes. Like, we are also practicing devotional life, right? But we also have material desires, isn't it?
Correct.
So, like that, if we have while practicing bhakti, if we have material desire, then we will be given position in the higher planetary system where we will fulfill all our desires. And then, we can keep going up and up and up. That's a krama mukti for us.
And this is like different births, Prabhu, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
take birth in one lok, then you go to the next lok.
Yeah. And then one thing very important in this is you don't come back. See, if you go by your karma, you come back. So if you are going to the higher planetary system, you can go in two different ways. You can go to the higher planetary system by accumulation of our karma. And you can go to higher planetary system by accumulation of the yoga process which we are following. Right? Shine Punye Mritya Loka Vishanti, Bhagavad Gita का एक श्लोक है. Right? That after fulfilling your desires in the spiritual, in the higher planetary system, you come back. That is applicable to somebody with karma. But somebody who has a goal of liberation and they still have material desire, then they go up and they enjoy and they go actually up. They don't come down. They don't come down to the material.
But this doesn't apply for devotees.
So devotees with desire can go to higher planetary system and enjoy in the higher, Prabhupada also says, right?
He says, Prabhupada also in Bhagavad Gita, he said in that same sloka, I think, He said if you go to those planets, you are ultimately you have to come back and again go from here through bhakti only.
Yeah.
That's what.
But if you can go back from here, you can go back from there also.
Oh, okay.
So it's up to us. So this is in the 6th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Arjuna asked this question. Yeah. So far clear?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So now we come back to here. So now this is a 5th set of questions, that how is dharana accomplished? What is the bona fide dharana, the object of meditation? And all these things are asked over here. So basically, these questions are in the 2nd chapter and it is answered in the 3rd chapter. We are not going to, and we have already discussed this, the whole cycle which we have discussed, right? So the next set of questions is about what did Maharaj Parikshit inquire from Sukadeva Goswami further. Right? This is the sages of Naimisharanya asking to whom? This is Sutta Goswami. Right? This is Sutta Goswami. This is sages of Narasharanya. Who is this? Shaunaka Rishi. Right. This is Shaunaka Rishi. This is Sutta Goswami. So he is answering. So what? So please continue the Harikatha. That's what their question is. Right. So basically, he's asking about the creation. How did the Lord create? This is what Parikshit Maharaj is asking to Sukadeva Goswami. How did the Lord create? And in particular, this is a set of questions that is asked. There are actually, yeah, he is asking this question about creation, maintenance, and destruction. Yes.
Jumbo and all.
Yeah, we went through that. Now we are not going to go through in details. So he's asking about creation, maintenance, and destruction, how the Lord performed this. So to answer this, Sutta Goswami or Sukadeva Goswami says that I will answer this question by narrating a discussion between Brahmaji and Narad Muni. Because the same questions were asked by Narad Muni to Brahmaji. So Brahma Narada Samvad. That is where the 5th chapter starts. But this is in the 4th chapter. Right? Are you getting the connection? In the 4th chapter, Parikshit Maharaj is asking question about creation, maintenance, and destructions. Right? So he is saying that I am going to answer this by referring to the conversation between Brahmaji and Narada. But before that, he is offering prayers. So there is a whole set of prayers, beautiful prayers of Sukadeva Goswami. So he offers beautiful prayer because he has not offered. Normally we start with Mangala Charan, right? But in the 2nd canto, when Parikshit Maharaj asked the question, he didn't do Mangala Charan at that time. He was so excited to answer, he immediately answered the question. So the Mangala Charan comes later. So there is about 20-30 verses and beautiful prayers. So he start answering those questions. So these are the 6 questions. Characteristics of the universe. This is Narad Muni asking to Brahmaji. What is a shelter? How it is created? How it is conserved? What it depends on? And what is what is the ingredients for the creation, material creation, right? So in the 5th chapter, this is the 8th set of questions, but in the 5th chapter, he's answering this. And if you remember, this is the diagram we went through systematically, right? I'm not going to go through this again. However, we have this questions all the time that why this creation is coming again and again and again and again, right? In the first few cantos. Not only in first few cantos, creation is also discussed in lot of details in the 11th canto. And the annihilation is discussed in lot of details. In fact, the whole canto is about annihilation. So why is that so? So there has to be a reason, right? So the reason is because the cosmic creation, whatever is there, we internally, we are the microcosm and the cosmic creation is the macrocosm, right? And it is very important for all of us to understand this. So therefore, I specifically chose this topic, how this helps us in our bhakti. Oh, Krishna, what happened? Okay. Are you able to see?
Yeah.
Okay, so the topic is, this is a complicated topic. However, it will be so useful, you won't believe me. It will be so useful in our practice of bhakti. And so many important points which we miss or we are not able to connect is presented here. So metaphysics of prana and chitta. These are the two topics which will be helpful to us. And this is level 1. We will go level 2, level 3. But I will not cover level 2 and 3 till the 26th chapter of Canto 3. Right. But this is beginning.
You said there are prayers there.
No, like Bhagavatam is going one layer, one feeling,
One
layer,
level, one
another
layer. We are going one layer deeper. That why creation is explained so many
So many
times.
times.
It's not Bhagavatam, but
No, it's-
Yeah, it is in Bhagavatam also, but it is coming later.
oh.
And it is there in 11th canto and 12th canto, and it is there spreaded in many different cantos. But we are going to bring those things, and there are different levels. So this is going to help us in our process of bhakti. Right? Understanding this.
Yes, to Uddhava.
Uddhava,
Oh,
11th canto. He explains in details about this prana and chitta. Now, why it is important? Because it will help us in our bhakti, in understanding what we should do. So, understanding these terms are important. So, metaphysics of prana and chitta. Prana you have heard. Every one of us has heard this. Chitta also we have heard. Right? So, we are going to go in details of what is prana and chitta. But before going into prana and chitta, we'll understand the term what is metaphysics. Now, if we are going for preaching, we'll come to know these terms. Inside the scientific world, these terms are used very commonly. So you must have heard philosophy, right? Philosophy, we study philosophy. Bhagavad Gita is a philosophical book, right? But what is philosophy? So philosophy is the love of wisdom, means love for knowing something. That is philosophy. This is the basic definition. A way of thinking that uses reason to explore fundamental questions about. Now, this I have taken directly from internet. A way of thinking that uses reason to explore fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, value, mind, reality, seeking deep understanding rather than just facts. So, philosophy gives us the understanding of the existence, but philosophy has various branches. So these are the branches of philosophy. One of them we have covered in details, quite a bit detail. That is cosmology. Right? We have covered that. Then there is theology, then there is aesthetics, right? Ethics. Logic is nyaya. Epistemology is how do we acquire knowledge? What is the source of our knowledge? So our Shastra, right? We are studying Bhakti Shastra. So that is the source of our knowledge. That is the epistemology. So similarly, these are different things, but we are interested in metaphysics. What is metaphysics? So in fact, the definition of metaphysics is the branch of philosophy that explore the fundamental nature of reality, existence, and being. Right? So what does it contain? What is there in metaphysics? So the nature of reality, existence of being, time and space. This is going to be covered in the third canto, 11th chapter. Cause and effect. Now we are studying cause and effect to some extent, but today we are going to go deep into mind and matter and the nature of reality. Right. So this is the metaphysics, study of metaphysics. Now in Bhagavad Gita, Canto chapter 2, verse 17, Avinashitu tadviddi yena sarvam idam tatam. This is that the verse 2.17. In the purport, there is a verse taken by Srila Prabhupada from Mandaka Upanishad. This is Mandaka Upanishad 3.1.19. So this is the verse. So it says that what is Atma? So being in this body, it is the responsibility of the person, which is Atma, to know itself, to discover itself. Right? It is our responsibility. It is our duty to know about ourselves. If we don't do, means we are not following our duty. So this is the verse which is indicating that the soul, which is atomic in nature, right, can be perceived by intelligence. Using our intelligence, we can perceive soul. Now, I'm going to come back to this again, right, because this is has to be, it's like a compact sutra. It has to be opened up. Right? So once we complete, we'll come back to this verse again. So the point is that it is our duty to understand about ourselves, our reality, and not only understand but see. See, in our Vedic study, we use the word darshan. Right? Shad darshan. What is darshan?
Philosophy को ही कहते
हाँ,
हैं प्रभु.
हाँ. But actually, darshan means what? Vision.
Vision.
Darshan means to see. So we should be able to see our soul. But there are reasons we are not able to see it. We should be able to see the soul. We should be able to see the Paramatma. We should be able to see Krishna. But right now, because of our coverings, we are not able to do so. So it is our duty to see the soul. We should first through the Shastra, through our Shastric study. So the soul, which is atomic in size, can be perceived by perfect intelligence. Next is, this atomic soul is floating. We have heard this many times. Atomic soul is floating in 5 kinds of air. What are the 5 kinds of air? Hare Krishna. Prana, Apana, Samana, Vayana and Dana. यहाँ आ जाओ या फिर हाँ? यहाँ पे चेयर लेके बैठो। हाँ? ओके। सोने नहीं दूंगा किसी। चौक लेके बैठो बस। ना सोऊंगा ना। Yeah, exactly. ना खाऊंगा ना खाने दूंगा।
Interesting chat.
Huh?
Hmm.
What is that?
Discussion. Yes, very. We want we did.
Yeah. So the soul is, so there are 5 kinds of air. Actually, air is one, which is prana. But the soul is floating in the 5 different functions of the air. If the same air has 5 different functions. So depending on the function it is performing, it has got different names, but it is only one, which is prana. Okay. So now coming back to the fifth chapter of Canto 2. We have discussed this. And now I'm going to connect this with the discussion of today. So Mahavishnu, before the creation, what is the state of the creation, the whole existence, right? It is
Inert.
it is inert in nature, right? So what is that called?
Pradhan.
Pradhan, right? Pradhan. So Mahavishnu then glances on Pradhan, and that's how the creation begins, right? So Mahavishnu or Karanadaksha Vikshnu, right? He glances and integrates Jiva into the material nature. So he glances with his glance. What is going through his glance? Who is carrying? Lord Shiva is carrying. And what is Shambhu? And what is going through his glance? Shambhu is carrying the Jiva's Swabhav, and he is also carrying time. Right? So before that, the Pradhan is Kala. Yeah, she is the expansion of it. But in general, the time, in general, without the time, nothing will work. Because the time, actually, it's in equilibrium. Time breaks that equilibrium. Right? So this Kala, Jiva, and Karma. So these are the 3 things he is glancing on. He is glancing with his glance, that is going into the Pradhan. And the first step, that is, what is the first thing that is created?
False ego.
No, it is not false ego. That Pradhan,
Modes.
the modes are in inactive, in an
Unmixed state.
in an undifferentiated, unmixed state. But when the glance goes, it triggers, and the first thing that manifests is called as Mahatattva. Right? The first thing that is created is Mahatattva. So from Pradhan, the first stage of creation is Mahatattva, right? Are we good so far? I'll go very slow because this is going to get complicated.
So Prabhu, Kala is time and Jiva ka karma and swabhav. Okay. Sorry.
So previous karma
Yes.
and the conditioned nature. ये तीन ये चीज एक साथ जाते हैं.
Correct.
Okay. So far good. The first thing that is created is Mahatattva.
The Swabhava would also have the false ego or no?
Hmm.
Yeah, Swabhava is definitely false ego. Yeah. Swabhava is a conditioned nature.
You said three, right? Jiva, what was that? And
Karma and Jiva.
nature.
No, so
Kal, karma.
Jiva.
Time, Jiva, time.
No, so it look like this. Jiva has their karma
Yeah.
and Jiva has their Swabhava. Like I have my karma and I have my conditioned nature. Similarly, all of us have their karma and they all of us their.
So these are the jivas who are not liberated.
Yes.
So they are in the state. So they still original swabha is still there. And then whatever they accumulated, the karma is also there.
Also there.
And Kal is over a period
And
of time.
Kal.
And the time is now, time has come to send them to fulfill what is the next journey.
Yeah.
So the time.
Time is like a delivery agent.
Delivery.
Time,
Karma.
because of time, everything starts.
Without time, the karma will not get
Yeah,
manifest.
they just in
Right?
the
It's like
suspension
a-
mode.
So whatever, as we go into the body of Mahavishnu, we carry all our impressions. That is Swabhava.
Mm.
Whatever has happened in the past, right? If somebody can bless in the past, that nature will be still there even when we get our next body. And whatever the karma that we owe,
Yeah.
that
accumulated.
is only separated from us
For time.
with the time. So time is just the distance or the whatever, right? It is the delivery, the
Yeah, delivery agent.
delivery agent.
But this time is like, what's the time's horizon?
Time has no influence before Pradhan. Time, sir, no time there. Nothing is happening. When even something started happening, that's when the time measurement starts, right?
Okay.
Like you
No,
plant a seed,
But you're carrying your karma
they're all
or
dormant state.
somehow
They're
from
dormant.
past as well, right?
Yes.
But does that also refer to the past time or past call?
No, that time is
No,
stopped.
it's not.
So it stopped.
It's not.
Yes.
Okay.
The clock
Time
is stopped.
starts from
Yeah.
Again
Okay.
start.
When time starts, when the time is injected. It's the energy of the Lord.
So in spiritual, there is no concept of time.
time.
Yeah. So again, Pradhan to Mahatattva, which is predominantly in the mode of goodness. Right? This Pradhan is undifferentiated. There is no differentiation, right? Here it is, we see that it is not differentiated at all. And from there, the first thing that is created is Mahatattva. Then the second thing that is created is Sutra Tattva. Third thing is created is Ahankar. Now it's all depicted here. So far, so good.
Sutra Tattva is not there, right?
Yeah, it's there.
There.
In Rajas.
Rajas.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So now we are going to go one level deeper to understand that. So that Mahat Tattva which is there, it's in the global level. We understand like in a computer terms, in the global level. Right? So that Mahat Tattva is actually, it is not mixed with, it is pure goodness. It is pure goodness. It is not mixed with Rajas because Rajas has not been manifested yet. So first thing is manifested is Mahat Tattva. It is pure consciousness. Right? That pure consciousness has certain characteristics. So it is, so whenever somebody is in the mode of goodness, that person is kind of passive. Because unless there is Rajas, the action doesn't come to act. So that thing is called as Nishkriya. So that term which is used is Nishkriya. Nishkriya means it lacks. Hari Bol. Welcome, Prabhu. Welcome. Hare Krishna.
छोटा भाग बन गया है।
Hari Bol.
महाराज साथ में
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. प्रभु चेयर ले लिए माता जी, प्लीज टेक द चेयर और here.
Yes, Prabhu, you are right. Cheating. So want to sleep.
आ गया
प्रभु मैं तो
सो जाऊं कि वहाँ एक तो
नहीं
नहीं सो गया ऐसे क्या
no, please don't sit there. It's
Come, सारे मार के उधर चले जाओ ना.
Rearrange.
sorry.
That's a better feel.
Yeah.
अरे बैठो ऊपर बैठ
गौरी तो एक है.
हाँ हाँ वही है.
पता नहीं इसको पासवर्ड करना. ये क्या पासवर्ड?
किधर है? नहीं नहीं नहीं
अच्छा माता जी आगे छोड़ दो, मैं उनसे
आओ.
What happened?
How old is this? 7 months?
For you?
Yeah, 8.5.
No. 9.5. He did? I'm sure she knows better.
Yeah.
I just didn't correct you earlier today.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I forgot my daughter's age. Sometimes I tell 30, sometimes I tell 20. So it's okay.
What happens with that?
Yeah.
कब दांत निकला
Coming all around, huh? Morning hiking, evening Bhagavatam.
Okay. So this Mahatattva is the first thing that is created, and it is pure consciousness. So this is explained in the third canto, chapter 26. And this Mahatattva is like, we can like clean mirror. We can understand it like that. Or clean pure consciousness. So that Mahatattva is also within us. A portion of that Mahatattva is also within us. And that portion of Mahatattva which is within us is called as Chitta. So Mahatattva in its original state is pure consciousness. Mahatattva, when it is in our body as a Chitta, it is pure. Okay. Now, this is explained. We'll go into it. Yeah. So,
Just again, the Mahatattva, as you said, is global. It's
global.
overarching.
Yes.
And then Chitta is within us.
With a portion of that Mahatattva is
Chitta, that's within us.
whatever is global is also local. Okay. So if you remember when we were talking about the discussion, we were discussing the Canto 2, Chapter 5, when we are going into details, we were also talking about that how when the creation happens, like from this portion onwards, so all these things are created by whom? By Mahavishnu. And then from the pores of his body, all the universes comes out and they keep going, and they are actually here, lying here, all over the places, all the universes, and they are dormant for 1000 celestial years. If you recall, this is, if you wrote, then you can go into the summary slides and you can see that this whole sequence is explained. Now, after 1000 celestial years, means demigod years, what happens is Mahavishnu enters into each of the universe as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. Correct? He enters into each universe as Garbhodakshay Vishnu. When he enters into the Garbhodakshay as a Garbhodakshay Vishnu, he carries those living entities which is under his control. Because there are innumerable universes. So there are innumerable Garbhodakshay Vishnu entering, but before entering, it takes the elements as well as the living entities for that particular universe. So elements means it also carries the Mahatattva, it carries the Sutra Tattva, it carries Ahankar, everything it carries. And then enters into the
Along with jivas.
along with jivas, because it has to be given to the jivas.
So jivas, whenever jiva was the karma and the.
Yeah, it's a part of, part of. You cannot separate it, right? It's a one unit.
Yeah.
And all these universes have same qualities, Prabhu? It's like
It's almost similar.
almost similar.
Yeah. Because how we can understand is because some of the Brahmas are four-headed, like ours is Brahma is four-headed, but there are 10-headed Brahmas, 100-headed Brahmas, 1,000-headed Brahmas, million-headed Brahmas. So those universes are structurally kind of similar, but they are like kind of bigger because Brahma need to do more work there. Our universe is the smallest in that way.
And each of those Brahmas are different souls.
Yes.
They're not expansions.
Yeah.
But Garbhodaksha Vishnu is one.
What's the, like from Krishna, it's Balaram, then Narayan, and then first Chakra, and then second
This
Chakra.
whole expansion is there. Yeah. So far, all clear?
I vaguely remember there was an analogy that it's something like somebody's getting the raw materials to cook the food. Is that the same?
Yes. Yeah, it's the same thing.
And some cook will come and then
He will
they will
come and
prepare the actual dish.
the actual dish, yeah. All the ingredients are needed then and can be used to cook the dish, right? So this chitta is a screen of consciousness. We can understand it in that way, and we will go into more details. But so far, can you relate now that Mahatattva is chitta within us, right? And this is the reference. This is third canto, chapter 26, verse 21. Mahatattva, which is represented by chitta in the body. This is Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purport, Sarartha Darshan Tika, which is predominated by sattva, which is pure, peaceful, and the place of worship of the Lord. Now, this is very important, and we'll come back.
The Lord stays in the child.
No, we'll see what it means. So far clear? So, chitta is actually Mahatattva, is chitta within us, and originally it is pure.
Just because Mahatattva is also pure.
Pure, yes, and it is pure goodness. It's like, so the word is used as Vasudev. So Suddha Sattva or Vasudev Sattva, the same thing. But it is not mixed or tinged with anything else. Now, when it is in Sattva state or Suddha Sattva state, it is passive in nature. But we all want to act, right? So therefore, passion has to be introduced. So therefore, the Lord introduces the passion over here as Sutra Tattva. So what is Sutra? Sutra means threads. Right? So Sutra Tattva is the next stage. And normally you will not hear this Sutra Tattva. The entire Bhagavatam, only one or two places Sutra Tattva is discussed. So you will not hear. But here is the purport 2.5.24. You will find it. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's purport. You will find this term Sutra Tattva. Sutra means thread. Now the clothes we are wearing, sometimes it is checks and all this, right? So different threads are mixed together. Right? So that Sutra Tattva is also present within us. Right? And that is prana.
Bro, can you explain just quickly in one sentence what is pradhan?
Okay, so before the creation happens, between the two creation, so the creation has happened and everything, like for the entire life period of Brahma, the universes are there. At the end of life of Brahma, all the universes actually go inside the body of Mahavishnu.
Right.
Correct?
Okay.
Now everything has now winding ho gaya pura. Right? Everything is empty. So think like this, Mahavishnu is laying here and he did all the creation and then everything went into his body. But then there is nothing. So that state is called as pradhan. However, it is so material nature is in its unmanifested state, manifest nature.
Okay.
Would you like to add something? No. The go down wala example. So it will be more
I'll share the one which I shared like the
other day. Yeah.
I think Pradhan is what you need to for the creation of the whole material. Like if you have to build a home, right? You go to Home Depot, you'll get everything. Lumber, cement, and so it's everything is there, right? So, but everything is now like together, right? You will not say there is a home exist inside that, right? Somebody have to work for it to build
Ingredients
so
are there.
bring the ingredients, whatever, do it in a sequence so that it takes some logical shape and things like that, right? So that is what is now. Now Pradhan is deprived of any modes. So when you add the modes, then the Pradhan will get sacked. Like when you take a cement or a concrete, right? It is not having any bonding, but when you add water, it becomes like a rock solid kind of a thing. So that's modes. That's what activates the Pradhan. And then you have that when Mahatattva is Pradhan in the mode of goodness, Sutra Tattva is Pradhan in the mode of passion, and then Ahankar is the Pradhan in the mode of ignorance.
So Mahatattva is when Lord Vishnu enters, then Sutra Tattva, I believe.
No. Lord Vishnu just glances.
Glances. And the modes activates them.
Yeah. So when he glances, there are two things that is gone inside. That is the Kala and the Jiva.
Right.
But Jiva means Jiva has karma and sabhav.
Okay.
So these are the only two things that are going with the glance of the Mahavishnu on Pradhan.
Okay.
Two things. One is Jiva, other is Kala. But Jiva has karma and Jiva also has their sabhav.
Right.
Okay? Like we go to the next body with our karma and our sabhav.
Nature.
Right? So that's how it works. Clear? Impressions. So far, so good. Okay. So the chitta is this, and then prana. So prana is a thread that moves the machine. So the body is like a machine, and this machine is because we have consciousness, but nothing will move unless there is prana. Unless there is prana, right? Now that prana has different names based on the functions. So when we ingest, very bored.
He's trying to say something.
Yes.
He's trying to explain.
Okay, he's saying, Prabhu, ये क्या गड़बड़ कर रहे हो? ठीक से बोलो.
I'm in full mode of goodness.
Yes.
क्या बता रहे हो मुझे?
Yeah.
He knows that.
Yeah.
He just came from there.
Okay. He's like, don't look at me.
पता लग गया उसके बारे में बात हो रही है.
Yeah. So this prana, actually the definition is it's a life force. It's a life force. Prana is not just oxygen, and prana is not just in the form of air. It is there in the food. It is there everywhere actually. Because the prana, now you understand that it is a force behind. It is rajas, and it is a force behind activities going on around everywhere. Right? So there is a universal prana, and then there is a prana within us. Right? So when we breathe in, it is called as prana, ingestion. When the same prana is pushing helping our digestion and then pushing the excretion for the expulsion, that is called as apana. When the same prana is used for speech, like I am speaking something. Now again, speech has, like when I am speaking, there are multiple things going on behind the speech. Right? So the one which you are hearing right now, that is called as Vaikari. But then there are stages before that, and I will go into that later. I don't want to bring these two together. So Vaikari is what you are hearing. But before hearing, the speech is actually composed within the mind. So it has to go through various phases, and then the pran has to push that air, and I have to move my mouth in a certain way so that those words are coming exactly what it should be like. And then you can hear, ultimately goes into the ear and hear. So these are all actions of pran, and pran is throughout the body. So the one which is helping us to speak, that is called as Udan. I'll share it too. Don't worry.
Is Udana also part of the evolution of the Sanskrit language? Like how Sanskrit?
Any language, any, it doesn't matter. For anything you want to speak, you need a force that will push the air up, and then the air will be compressed in our mouth in a certain way. Like you say a, ka, kha, ga. Yeah. Kha bolna hai to ye tongue has to go like this, and air has to come out in a certain speed.
Yeah.
Right?
Like some foundation of Sanskrit, jo varnmala hoti hai,
Yeah, yeah.
That's different ways of whether
Yeah.
That's right. So that is all basically.
That was basically the way Udana actually pushes the air out.
Here is only air part.
Yeah.
Here it is only air part. So Udana is that. So speech or upward energy. Then Vayana is for circulation, right? Like when somebody becomes 50, the Vayu increases. Therefore, you see the old people, they fart more because the Vayu. This is natural, these are natural things. The Vayu in the body increases. So they cannot control because it has to come out in one or other way. So this is the work of circulation, and then Samana is for digestion. For the digestion, there is air required, and for circulation system, the Vayana is required. Otherwise, blood will not circulate. So this same pran is doing so many functions. So pran, now you remember pran, apan, saman is, see the words are very udan, ऊपर के तरफ आ रहा है, right? उदान, Vayan, it is going throughout the body.
Why only Sutra Tattva is written here for Pran? Because it's all because of passion.
Yeah.
Sutra Tattva, which is there, it's a universal pran.
No, in your previous slide, you had like Sutra Tattva as the passion part, right?
It's the action, Prabhu, right?
Yeah.
It's the
So
direct
Sutra
action.
Tattva is from, in this side, I am saying that from Mahat Tattva, which is pure goodness. The next, and I am going to explain this later, how this happens. The first thing that is coming from Mahat Tattva is Sutra Tattva. And from Sutra Tattva, the next transformation that is happening is Ahankar. So these are the transformation stages coming. So first is goodness, then the goodness cannot do anything on its own. So the Lord, by Lord's vision, this transforms into this transforms into this transforms into this.
Yeah, no, I understood that. But what I'm saying is in that slide, you have Sutra Tattva mentioned. So is prana is like kind of tied together with Sutra Tattva?
Sutra Tattva itself is prana. Sutra Tattva is in the global level, and that is called as prana in our body.
Oh,
Like Chitta and
Like Chitta is called Mahatattva Chitta, Sutra Tattva Prana.
oh.
Without Rajas, nothing will function. Okay? So therefore it is needed. So far makes sense? So this pran is now interwoven with Chitta. This is the very technical part to be understood, that these things are interwoven together. And as we go further, we'll understand, and this will be the most complex things for me to explain. So, right.
What's the second point? Store floats on these 5 airs.
Yeah. So if you remember, in the beginning, I showed Prabhupada's thing.
Okay. The
Atomic soul is floating in the 5 kind of air.
Okay. But situated within the heart.
Right.
Yeah. And it spread its influence all over the body.
Ishvara Sarva Bhutanam Riddeshe. That is about Ishvara, but then there is another verse. I forgot the verse. This is in Bhagavad Gita. Is situated within the heart and spreads its influence all over the body of the embodiment. Huh?
Aham Bhuta Sarvatma.
No.
No.
where the Atma is explained, the soul, where the soul's place. Secondly,
Soul is residing in the region of heart, right?
region of
That is, yeah. If you can find that verse with me.
आगे बढ़ रहे हैं भूल जा रहे हैं अहम आत्मा गुड़ा के शायद है कुछ नहीं
वो तो सोल का कैरेक्टरिस्टिक्स है
Okay, so far good.
So this is again there can be other verses also. This is chapter 10 verse 20. Ahamatma guda kesha sarvabhutashaya stitah ahamadishya madhyamscha bhutanam antaiva cha. Translation: O Arjuna, I am seated in the heart of all living entities. In the beginning, I am in the beginning, middle and the end of all things. यही बोल रहे हो
नहीं, ये तो ईश्वर का हुआ ना. ईश्वर वो भी तो दूसरा वर्ष है, ईश्वर सर्वभूतानां हृद्देशे अर्जुन तिष्ठति, but that is about परमात्मा.
So what is the verse?
I'm asking about where is the soul located. It's in the region. It's in the region of heart.
Okay.
But the Paramatma is also sitting next to, so that way we can deduce. But is there a direct verse which tells that? Nahi, yeah? So that's a verse which says that Ishvara is.
Purport में Prabhupada says purport, but some verse में है क्या?
Yeah.
It must have quoted one of the Upanishads.
Yeah, let me see.
So this is a verse which I showed earlier, Mundaka Upanishad, that tells about that it's in the region of heart, floating in the region. Okay. So now comes the difficult part, and it's going to be more difficult as we move forward. So please try to pay attention. Okay, so this chitta, now we understood that there is a universal chitta. What is that universal chitta? Mahatat. What is universal prana? Sutra tattva, right? So just as, now this is the example which is given, that there is water everywhere. Okay, don't try to look there. There is water everywhere, right? Now that water is in the form of gas, right? So this is, but that water, when you put under certain condition, it forms a cloud. Right? So that cloud, so there is a transformation of that same water into cloud, into water vapors. So that transformation, a similar kind of transformation happens from Mahatattva to Sutra Tattva. Then it goes further transformation, that cloud becomes, under certain circumstances, it becomes liquid, and that liquid falls as water. But if the temperature is too cold, it becomes solid ice. Right? So same water going through different transformation, different phases, and different things are manifested. Similarly, the same pradhan, right, goes through different stages and different things are manifested. Right? So if you see, first thing is manifested is chitta, the second thing is manifested is prana, third thing is manas and buddhi, and the fourth thing is the ahankara or ego. Now we'll go into more details about this. So just to give an example, is a pure potential, like gaseous form, and then moments of, this is needed for things to move forward. Otherwise, it is passive state. So for active state, you have to enter, you have to go to the next stage, which is rajas, and then it has to become fluid through mind and intelligence, so that things can happen in this world. Therefore, the mind and intellect is there. And the fourth thing is tamas, and this we are going to see in detail later. So it will make more sense as we go forward. Meaning over here in this slide, it is saying that there is phase of transition of liquid. Just as there is a phase of transition of the liquid goes through various phases. Similarly, the pradhan, which is universal in nature, goes through various stages and creates different things. And all those things are needed for the body to function. Right? So this is the analogy that is given. Okay. So, and this will going to create the antakaran. Now, when we look at things, now this is why I put over here Antakaran, because if you remember, Antakaran is there within our body, and there are four things within the Antakaran: Chitta, Manas, Buddhi, and Ahankar. These are the four things there in our Antakaran. These four things, when you combine, it becomes Antakaran. So sometimes when you read scriptures, they'll use the word Antakaran. Means Antakaran is the combination of these four things. What is the four things? Chitta, Manas, Buddhi, and Ahankar. Now we are going to go into each of those details. Chitta we have already seen.
Manas is not mind.
Manas is mind. Right, yeah. Each of them has different functions. Each of them has different functions.
Good.
It's okay. My question is very simple.
प्राण क्या है? कहाँ पर?
I don't know. See, when Krishna says that Bhumi Rapo Nado Vayu Kham Mano Buddhi Revacha Ahankara iti. So the sequence when Krishna says that he goes from more gross to the finer and more subtler and subtler.
Mind, intelligent, and falsehood.
Falsehood. So it increases the subtlety of the object. Right? Earth is more gross than water, or water is more subtler than the earth, and I think इसमें analogies looks fine, but उसमें कि अहंकार को solid बना देते, it's like looking, because अहंकार is the most subtlest thing to find, right? Like,
Yeah,
so,
and there is a reason why it's done.
अच्छा,
You will know in few minutes.
ठीक है. That's I will wait.
So previously you said that Manat Tattva is the universal Chitta and Uttara Tattva is the universal Prana. So this is still not come to the point of one individual soul. It is all universal.
So we understand. We are now doing two things together. Universe में जो है हमारे body में same चीज है. We are trying to understand it that way.
It's still the global variables only.
No, both are there simultaneously.
But this one is depicting more our local things.
Our local things. Yeah, this is depicting more. Now, what this particular slide is depicting is there is a transformation that is happening. From one thing, another thing is coming. From that thing, so therefore, an example of water is given, that there is water all over the place. That's called as humidity. Correct? But then you bring that humidity under certain circumstance, then it becomes cloud. Then that circumstance changes, that cloud becomes rain. Then the circumstance changes, that rain, which is liquid, becomes to solid if it is very cold. So there is a transformation of the same water that is happening. So the same pradhan, which is the original thing, it is going through various transformation. And the first thing that is coming is chitta. Chitta, then pradhan. And so that is the comparison that is given over, analogy of water.
So Prabhu, we can relate now the three pradhanas, right? In this case, Chitta, Prana, and Ahankara. But then Manas and Buddhi is not.
So within Ahankar, so Ahankar, predominantly it is in tamas. Predominantly Ahankar is in tamas. However, there is goodness also there in Ahankar. And in tamas, there is a part of goodness, there is a part of passion, there is a part of ignorance. So ignorant goodness, ignorant passion, ignorant. An example I think I gave you, that will be more clear. There are thieves. Right? तो thieves चोरी करने जाते हैं, 3-4 thieves एक साथ. तो बोला जो भी हम माल चोरी करेंगे बाद में इक्वली बांटेंगे. So equally बांटने वाला जो काम है, that is goodness. However, they are thief. So predominant, ईमानदार thief है, yes. So ईमानदार thief is ignorance, but then they have goodness. They also have passion. They are doing chori, that is passion, and then they fight among each other, kill each other. So that is ignorance. So like that. So if you see, Ahankar has goodness, passion and ignorance. From the goodness part of ahankar comes the mind and 10 sense devatas. From the passion part of ahankar comes prana and 10 senses
And intelligence.
and intelligence. And from the ignorant part, these are the gross elements. So Krishna starts from here.
Mind and 10 senses, and then prana, 10 senses, devatas and intelligence. Like,
Correct. This comes from the good. So it is satvika ahankar.
okay.
This
No,
is
but what's the
rajasika.
difference between 10 senses under goodness and 10 senses under passion?
Sorry, I didn't get it.
Mind and 10 sense, and then you have prana and 10 senses.
This is coming from passion. So you go like this. Ahankar, predominantly tamas, but ahankar has three parts: goodness, passion, ignorance.
What he's asking Prabhu is like first one, right? Which is under goodness. What is mind and 10 senses devatas versus pran, 10
What is the
senses
difference
and
between the
what is
10
the difference
senses?
between those two?
So the mind, mind over. So again, this is at global level. So a mind, again, you have to remember, these are all material things, that is ingredients that is created, right? Material ingredients that is needed for the body to function, right? So ultimately, when we are completing this discussion, we'll know that we are separate from the mind, we are separate from the intelligence, we are a living entity, which is pure soul, is separate from our mind. We are not our mind, we are not our intelligence, we are not our this, whatever objects we are picking up from here. This is given to us to function in this world. So that what is given to us is first you have to create at the global level. Make sense?
Think, still, I think this question is
Yeah,
not
not
answered.
answered.
The 10 senses, which is under the passion.
Yes, these.
Means maybe passion is more for a jiva, that 10 senses.
No. You are reading it wrong. Okay, I'll expand it. This is 10 sense devatas.
Sense ka ek demigod.
Devatas are here.
Yeah.
And the 10 senses. Yeah. So there is.
But you're not able to see it.
Okay. Now is it clear?
Yeah.
Prabhu,
This-
I'm clear.
So 10 senses devata means
जो एक demigod एक senses के लिए जो
देखो देखे ना ear के big देवता, ear, eyes,
Big
surya,
devata,
skin,
उसके
vayu.
Yeah.
So those
then
are
10 senses and intelligence mean
So 10
Senses.
So actual 10 sense. So 5 karmendriyas and 5 gyanendriyas.
right.
Right? So karmendriyas are like,
Yeah.
hands, legs, right?
The table is there, right? The senses will go.
Yes,
The
devata.
devatas will go here.
Yeah. So these are the 10 senses.
So for everything, we have three things, right? On the top they mentioned Adibhuta, Adhyatma, Adidaiva.
That's another level of
So
understanding.
the
Yeah.
Adibhuta part is what is physically visible, that's the ear, eye, skin, nose, that's what represents. And the Devas, Adidaiva, who are responsible for each of them to function. In order to function, those ears, eyes, the way they need to function, they need Devatas. Those are the Devatas. You need their help. And it's still in the Virat Rupa. This is not come to the individual yet.
No, this is not come. But this from here, the individual will be given
They
those.
will also become
Ah.
the same Devata center as our individual body also.
Yes, because if I am lifting my hand, I am not lifting the hand. If I am seeing, I am not actually seeing. That's what is going to come now. It is a Devata or the super soul who is
Indra
saying.
is lifting our hand.
Yes.
Indra is needed.
Indra is needed. He's there in our body. Oh.
He got it.
He got it, yeah.
Move on.
He got it.
Okay. So, before going here, I'll go to this next diagram.
No, yeah.
This is the easier diagram to understand. Then this is given by Chaitanya Charan Prabhu. Very nice example. So events are happening outside, and this is a cricket example. So everybody loves cricket. All cricketers are sitting here. Uh, so there is a cricket match happening in the ground, and we are seeing on the TV at home, enjoying the World Cup final or whatever, So how is that relayed? So it is happening in the ground somewhere in India or Australia or New Zealand or wherever. Then there is a camera team which captures that. Okay. Now then after that they send it to either through internet or through some satellite station or whatever. And then it comes to in our home, it comes to the TV. And we are watching TV from here, right? So the person who is watching, sitting here and watching the TV, there can be compared to soul, which is us, right? Now, events are happening in the world which is outside us. And then there is a camera team which is picking up those details. That is our eye senses, the eyes, ears, nose, that. And then it goes inside our body through the nerves, through all these things, it goes inside. And then it comes to a screen in front of us. That is the mind. So in our mind, we see a picture of something which is outside. Another example can be given is when we take picture. Next time when Brajaram Prabhu takes picture, of everybody in the temple, everybody is sitting there. When you are taking the picture, you actually see at this camera, isn't it? Like we see at this camera, and this cell phone, what it is doing, it's taking the image from the external world and it is making it as a picture here. And then we are seeing at this and then taking picture. Right? Same thing is happening here.
So mind is our TV actually.
Mind is our TV. However, mind is where it's displayed, but then there is a one level prior to that. And that's where the conception of prana and chitta is very important, because the external object, the senses collect the thing. So chitta is what? It's actually the consciousness. Chitta is the consciousness of the soul. So Prabhupada says that soul is conscious as well as it eliminates consciousness. So think like this, there is a screen of consciousness, which is, it's a kind of a screen, but that screen, the image that is produced by the prana. Prana is carrying, because if you now we have seen earlier, prana is carrying everything from the external world and it is presenting to us. So there is a layer of pran which creates the diagram of this particular flower, which is the information is collected by our eyes. It creates, the prana moves the chitta to make a form. Does it make sense? Now that form is now presented to the mind and we actually see the mind. Through the mind we are seeing it. So soul is viewing the screen of mind, but it is produced in the chitta. Produced by whom? Prana. The combination. Prana is the threads. That's why it's called as Sutra Tattva. It is a sutra. It is combination of thread. If you take the example of shirt, check shirt hai kisi ka, right? So you combine those checks, each and individual threads, and then finally when you are seeing a shirt, check shirt, or whatever color shirt we are seeing. But it is a combination of threads. Is it making sense?
So,
and where it is forming on the chitta.
So Prabhu, if this is clear, but like, so you have soul and you have prana, right? And you have this body which is made of 5 senses, right? So
you have soul, which is here.
Yeah. But unless prana is there, soul will not be there. Soul has got no meaning.
Yeah. इसलिए बोलते हैं प्राण चले गए. कोई मर जाता है तो क्या बोलते हैं? प्राण
छोड़ दिए.
हाँ. मतलब प्राण, the soul goes in the next body with.
So what causes the prana?
The prana is given to us at the time of our birth, in the sense in the womb. Entire thing is done by prana.
So
Entire
first pran comes and
Yeah.
then soul comes.
soul comes with the prana together.
So they come together.
Comes
Otherwise
with
the body will.
pran and
Jit-
mind and
and-
intelligence, right?
हाँ वो तो है.
वो तो है.
Or mind intelligence are there in the body.
No.
No, it is there in the prana, along with the prana,
With
the subtle
the
body.
soul.
Saying chitta, right? Previously you said chitta is like a mirror, so we can think in that way that whatever the picture we are, it gets stored on that mirror.
It is. So the what point I'm trying to say is little bit complicated, and maybe let me try to explain it in such a way. The chitta is, therefore, antakarana, I have separated 4 things. Chitta is separate from manas and buddhi. Antakara has 4 things. Right? Antakaran has 4 things. What is the 4 things? Mind, intelligence, chitta, and false ego or ahamkara. The first thing, impressions are created like a woven thread through the prana in our consciousness. And
Yeah.
and then the mind sees that, and we see the mind.
What are we here?
Soul.
Soul sees the mind.
Ah.
So let's put this way, I'll give a try in a different way.
Okay.
Let's say that somebody undergoing some sickness or accident. The prana is still there. The senses are still working, but they are unconscious. So you put the same thing in that situation, but even if you open the eye, that person cannot perceive what's happening because the consciousness
Is not there.
dormant.
Very nice example.
Obviously, prana is moving the consciousness to form that image. You have an external object. Eye is one of the knowledge acquiring senses. It is gathering that information. But how we are perceiving, right? Like if you're focusing a camera and clicking it, the camera is able to perceive that image and store it in the form of a digital form. There is some processing happening. Think what happens, the storage is there, it will not store the image.
So you're saying that processing all is done by prana and
Yeah, because prana is a passion, right? And chitta is a consciousness. So and that is what is forming the image, internal image, and that we are able to perceive it actually. Even if you close your eyes, you can still think about Shishir and Sachin's face without your eyes being present there. Why? Because
So you're saying soul and chitta are different.
Yes.
obviously,
Yeah.
yeah.
It is different.
Chitta is different. See, the presence of soul is measured by consciousness. That's a chitta, is it?
Yes.
Because that's how
Repeat that sentence.
the presence of soul is measured by the consciousness. If consciousness is what is the difference between a dead body and the living body? Because the living body has a consciousness. That means soul is present.
So
Consciousness is awareness.
Awareness.
yeah. So you're saying chitta is consciousness, right?
Yeah.
Chitta
But
is
you're saying now
intelligence, isn't it?
soul is not there.
Intelligence is different. अभी हम intelligence पे आए नहीं हैं हम लोग.
Yeah.
So
The word chitta means intelligence, right?
no.
No.
Chitta is consciousness.
Chit.
We are not talking about
Is knowledge or
soul at
conscious?
all here.
No. We are talking about soul, which is, so if you look at this diagram and maybe you go like couple of steps, then we'll come back and try to understand it in more detail. So this is soul. Now Prabhupada says soul is conscious as well as it has consciousness.
Yeah, that's what the
So conscious means soul. So now there are 2 words, right? It's conscious, like a lamp. If you remember, Maharaj gave an example in Japa retreat. He shows a picture where there is a lamp, and the lamp illuminates everything. आपको याद है picture?
पिक्चर मुझे याद है क्योंकि वो दिया जलाया हुआ and then it's the soul
हाँ.
and then the consciousness is all
Over the place, right?
Yeah.
All over the place. So it is not just within this body, it is all over the place around us. So that is the consciousness. So the Sutra Tattva, which is the Pran, it collects all the information, it creates a picture in the Chitta, and that then it is presented to the mind, and we are looking at the mind, and we are seeing that particular image. Right? Now, lot of time, and not lot of time, most of the time when you hear the word chitta, it is translated as mind, because there is no translation actually. So you will have to figure out yourself whether it is mind or whether it is really the chitta. Therefore, we are going into so much detail, because now we are going to go into how this is connected with bhakti, right? Because our interest is in connecting this chitta with bhakti. That's our final goal. So here, when we do not see object directly, the senses contact the objects. The prana moves the chitta to form a shape, and that is called as vritti. So chitta mein vritti ho raha hai, right? So this is a function of chitta. But prana is doing that vritti. It is creating a model, like it is creating a model on the phone. It is creating a model, right? The soul views this model on the screen of the mind. So mind is needed to see that particular vritti. समझे? एक स्क्रीन पे आपको देखना पड़ेगा ना. Now, if you and I don't know how many of you have experienced this, but if you have experienced this, that if you have fever, high fever, you start seeing distorted objects. I don't know how many of you, or if you are drunk.
I was about to say that.
Right. I have experience of it. If we are drunk, we see distorted objects. Why? Because the prana is disturbed. It is not able to create the object properly. So you see distorted objects. But the object is not distorted in reality. It's our mind, it is the prana which is creating this disturbance. So that is the thing. The image shakes. So like that, because of that. So for good. Now, let's say I'm seeing a Tulsi Devi. So that impression that is created in my consciousness, in my chitta, that is called as pratyaya. Right? Hmm?
They can repeat again.
That image that is created here, that's image this is created, that of the expression.
Pratyaya.
Yeah, very is pratyaya.
Everything, whatever we see is pratyaya.
Not see. You hear, you smell, whatever comes in your contact with the senses, everything is pratyaya.
Then what is
तो
it?
प्रत्यय और वृत्ति में क्या फर्क होता है?
Huh?
प्रत्यय और वृत्ति में
See, this
क्या-
vritti is the function.
It's a model.
It's a model which is created, but it's a function of chitta. Vritti is the function.
So vritti is just like a photo and pratyaya is experience.
The experience which you have recorded.
That experience
It
is
could be in
pratyaya.
any form.
It can be any form.
It could be visual, it could be audio.
Audio, video,
sense, could be
everything.
anything.
Yeah.
But vritti is just the model.
It is a model that is created.
Creative.
With the shape.
Suppose we say green, the taste what we see is the pratyaya.
Is a recorded. Is a pratyaya.
Yeah.
At that point of time, what is recorded in your experience, that is pratyaya. The term is
So.
Yeah, but usko everything will be there.
John, the
It's
figure is.
its figure, its visual, its taste,
smell,
whatever is there, smell.
everything,
That all is recorded in different forms, right?
in different forms. Now,
Then it gets stored also because that's the reference which you
Mm.
take for the next time.
that's what we are coming to now.
Yeah.
So every thing which we are seeing, it's like a recording, and it keeps storing in the chitta, in the hard drive, and that is samskar.
But so उसमें question आता है because we are taught that everything gets stored in our mind.
Mind में नहीं है.
प्रभु ये आपने माइंड क्लास में ऑलमोस्ट लाइक दिस बताया था.
अब वो we are going now more detail.
फर्स्ट लेवल, सेकंड लेवल, थर्ड लेवल कुछ था.
Yeah,
इंफॉर्मेशन सेकंड लेवल, बट चित्ता प्राणा नहीं था उसमें.
Yeah, इसमें time, because Bhagavatam we didn't touch, right? Now we are going to 26th chapter of Bhagavatam and 11th canto where all these details are.
Mind is considered making active decisions. It got all the inputs, it's making a decision based on the previous impressions it has stored in the chitta. The chitta is like a storage. It draws from the storage. Oh, previously I enjoyed this. Previously I didn't enjoy this. So now the mind says, okay, it's good, I can enjoy this. But buddhi will be saying, don't do that, it's not good for you. But the mind overrules buddhi and does it anyway through senses, organs. Then the mind is in this material world.
Yeah.
The buddhi says, no, this is not good for you. Krishna consciousness is good. And the
Yeah,
mind
but
actually
these are
knows.
different because there is intelligence also, right?
Yeah,
The
yeah.
buddhi is intelligence.
This is intelligence.
So
Yeah, we are coming to all this.
Chitta is actually storehouse.
ये देखो इतना
So पहले class में
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Chitta
good.
is the storage house.
We are going to details, all those details. So far, are we good?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, let's
Okay.
move on.
So these impressions, all these impressions are stored one after other. जितने भी lifetimes हमारे हैं, all impressions are stored
In Chitta.
in chitta.
ना जीबी मेमोरी है
GB नहीं कर पा रहा
The
है।
highest grade है ना, it's cloud storage.
Yeah.
और उसमें
So
वायरस
therefore, so this chitta becomes like it was a original plane mirror, and all these impressions are getting stored. So it is become darker and darker and darker and darker, and therefore that is darker thing, the solid state, and that is actually false ego or ahankar.
In fact,
So
Patanjali
ahankar is nothing but is simply a frozen state of darkened mass of the solidified impression. Right?
Different portions are activated as needed.
Okay, so now that's the next topic.
Yeah.
So far, are we good?
So Patanjali defines chitta vritti.
Nirodha.
Yoga means chitta vritti nirodha.
Yeah.
So the chitta's impressions, whatever you have, the yoga is essentially saying eliminate all of those.
Yes.
Chitta, then you become clear, conscious, pure consciousness.
Yeah.
And that process is called yoga. Chitta vritti nirodha.
Correct.
So if you can basically clean the mirror.
Exactly. Clean.
I will
Cheto
clean-
darpan margin.
Yeah.
Cheto.
Cheto darpan margin. In
And
our
then-
world, it's cheto darpan margin.
Correct. And then you won't be carrying that to the next.
Correct. You need to clean up.
Clean up. Yeah.
Mm.
So
And that
far,
may
good.
happen in this life, many lives.
So basically, they are stored. The samskars are stored. This is samskar, right? It is stored impression, solidified image, and when it is coming under environmental trigger, which can be anything, let's say we have taken a resolution today is 1st January. We're not going to eat sweets, but very in half an hour, Vrajaraman Kabu comes with
Where is my
sweet.
Hey, Khanna, what here?
That impression,
Not
it
sweet.
triggers,
Spicy.
that brings the desire. It looks in basically desire, and then we engage in it comes into active state. It is in a passive state. It is everything what is recorded is brought into the active state, and then we engage in karma. So basically, it's a past data which is being brought again and again, right?
I have a question here, Prabhu. So whatever we are storing on that hard drive, based on that only karma gets like whatever plus
It's
minus or what
it's coming.
keeps happening,
Yeah,
right?
asking questions which are later. It's going to come.
Because that karma word came so
Yeah, I'll answer this later.
प्रभु तब तक हम ये सब भूल चुके होंगे
सूत्र तत्व से हम तो सीधा अंकार में आ गए, वो बुद्धि बीच में मिस हो गया.
हाँ, ये आएगा. Now, if you remember, we were doing this 5 aspects that leads to suffering. If you remember, right? So it begins with avidya, and then asmita, raga, dvesha. I'm not going to cover it right now. I'm going to come again with this, which will cover your karma thing. Right? So let's see.
ये पढ़ा हुआ है ये आपने पढ़ाया है
हाँ, ये मैंने ये
पढ़ाया
हमने
है,
माधुर्य कदम
कादम्बरी में पढ़ा है ये तो पढ़ाया है
हाँ, Bhagavad Gita में भी है. So ahankar, let's go back to this. So as I said earlier here, different portions are activated as needed. Right? Of ahankar, different portions are activated as needed. So this is a diagram which will actually tell us. So let's say assume there is a lake, right? And in lake, it's a dusty lake. So there's a moon which is shining on a certain portion of the lake. So we can see this current dust, like the dust. You can assume that the dust is like samskar. So we can see like this. But after a few hours, the moon changes its position. So this, the lighting goes maybe here, right? So then you can see this portion, but then this portion becomes dormant. Right? After some time, maybe this portion becomes enlightened. The other portion becomes dormant. So like that, we takes life after life, and depending on the life we are taking, these samskars are activated. And within the life also, different ages, different samskar are activated. Like a chota bachcha hai, right? So he will not have any sex desire. Right? But as soon as he'll go to like the age of 13 or 14, it is triggered. Nobody has to tell him. Those desires are triggered. We call it as hormones or whatever, but actually it's a desire which is sitting within. Those are activated. Nobody has to tell or teach him. It has happened to all of us, right? So like that, different desires are triggered in different times we are living through within this life also. And I gave an example, if I remember, that somebody 20, let's say a child, right? 20 years back, that child was a cow and used to love grass. But now he has taken a human body and it's Ekadashi, and if somebody feeds that child with a nice plate of grass, will the child accept? Before 20 years, the child would have accepted it, right? Because it was in the cow's body. So that green grass was very attractive to that child. But today, in a human body, that is not attractive. So similarly, those desires, those taste, all these things which are recorded in a cow's body, the grass is very tasty. This is not the first time. Also, other examples can be given that the child doesn't have to be taught the very first day how to drink milk. Right? The child will immediately suck the breast of mother, right? Immediately, and start drinking milk. So who is teaching that child? So that is all the past impression it has gone through, and that is activated. That's needed at that point of time. So this is how these impressions are activated, and that is called as asmita.
The asmita is activation of those samskaras.
No, asmita basically is I-ness. I identify with those impressions which I already have in my samskara. So the identification is of such a level that actually I identify, I like it.
So this I is the soul here.
Yes, I is the soul. But these samskars are different, right? Because like, you see this keeps constantly moving. It keeps constantly moving. So new samskar are going to be activated at that time. But I identify myself with this particular samskar in this body so much that, I say, okay, this is what I am. I am an angry person. I am a this, I am a that, whatever nature we have. We have so much attachment to our nature in our conditioned life. But actually we are soul. We have got no connection because this is just the samskar which we had in the past. It is just a storage which is coming up. But because of the identification with those samskar, I get so much attached to it. So we are not our personality. Personality means these samskars. Our personality is simply the cluster of subconscious dust particle currently eliminated by the soul.
So this illumination happens according to the body we get, right?
Yes. And based on the karma.
Karma de.
I think you said that at that age you won't remember, but when he goes to 13 years, he remembers. I thought that is you're showing that if it shows this is government and this will show up.
No, this is the entire life. In the human form of life, let's say I have this kind of samskar that is to be eliminated. But if I am in a cow's body, then this samskars will be eliminated. If I go to dog's body, this may be eliminated. If I go to cat's body, this one. Right?
So you're saying that now in my chitta, I have different life samskaras in that.
Yeah, not different life.
100%.
And
8.4 million species.
yeah, everything is there.
The pura storage has me.
Pura storage.
What's called an unconscious mind or
Government, basically.
Right. But if we are unfortunate, our previous things will also remember. Remember?
Sometimes.
Yeah, people remember that. People think, oh, they are fortunate. No, actually, they are not fortunate. They are unfortunate because they are remembering their previous things. So this I-ness is called as asmita, right? And when these things are triggered, we get attached to some of the samskar, we get detached from some of the samskar based on our experience. So then this is called as raga, means attach, dvesha means aversion. And then that becomes intense. So therefore it is raga abhinivesh, intense absorption, or dvesha abhinivesh. And the abhinivesh term has also another meaning, that is, because of our intense absorption, we are very fearful of death. Because at the time of death, everything will be snatched away. So then it also includes the fear of death. However, all this happens because of avidya, and we have not seen that avidya yet. So far, are we good? Okay.
But this.
Yes, we'll go. That's why we are
That is
going
the main
to. That's the
reason.
main reason. But we are understanding this for the reason, I'll go back and say that we are studying Bhagavatam, and so many times creation is explained. Why?
But प्रभु इसका creation से
आएगा.
आप बाद में बताएंगे
हाँ, आएगा.
creation
हाँ,
सब
आएगा.
चीजों का, right?
Yeah. It's so important actually. If we directly jump to 10th canto, I'll say, but we will miss all these things, and we'll miss the actual thing which is there in bhakti.
Creation, to understand mostly यही ना कि we how minute we are, right?
That is one aspect, but also to understand, because without this understanding, we'll not be able to move further in the next stages of bhakti.
प्रभु तो बता दो creation का इससे क्या इतने impression है उसका creation से क्या relation
Yes, है, देखते हैं. So this soul is not, this soul is Anu, and it is not this. That's what we are trying to say, that this chitta vritti which is happening, soul is not this. It is separate from this. Right? There is a disconnect. So soul, which is Sachidananda, is actually bound by the thing that is called as avidya. Right? So this is avidya is a function of Maya Devi. Right? Avidya has two parts to it. Right? One is the avidya itself. Other part is a function of Maya Devi has two parts. One is vidya and other is avidya. Vidya is the spiritual knowledge which we are getting. Avidya is the knowledge that is actually stopping us to progress further in spiritual life. Right?
So can avidya also be the impression stored in our chitta or no?
No, avidya is ignore. So there are two ways it is. I'm not going to go into detail, but there are two ways. There is prakshepatmita shakti and there is avarnatmika shakti. So prakshekatmika shakti, avarnatmika shakti is when you go into a theater, you take Hare Krishna. When you go into a movie theater, first they close the light. Right? And then they do some projection. So avarnatmika shakti can be compared to closing of the light. Means dark ho jayega, right? So
Which you're talking about avidya.
avidya.
Okay.
Avidya has two parts.
Okay.
Part one is our and the second one is prakshepa. So in the avarnatmika shakti, first you remember A starts with A. This is how I remember. A means the first step. They shut down the lights of the theater. Now, second thing what you do is you project on the screen. So that is projection is this part. B. So A is cutting off our understanding that we are spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna. That is avarnatmika. Prakshepatmika means it is giving us new identity, the new focus on the screen. I am this, male, female, this, whatever.
You said one more sentence, Prabhu. People don't take the discussion with that sentence. You said chitta is what's that word you used? Oh my God, I'm getting it. It's Satchidananda.
Hmm.
Right.
Chitta ne, soul is. Soul is Sachidananda.
But it is. Right.
Soul is Krishna is Sachidananda, soul is also Sachidananda. So avidya is the ignorance that is holding us, it is covering us with these two Shakti, and it is not allowing us to identify ourselves back to Krishna. So with Vidya, we can connect back ourselves. Okay. Does it make sense? Now, this is how it works in details, but because you want me to go into details of that,
Yes, Prabhu.
how each of the components work. So Antakaran, how it has access to the Vasana or the impressions. Chitta as which is contaminated now consciousness. Originally it is pure consciousness. Now it is contaminated by all the impressions. Buddhi. So whenever any impressions is coming from outside, the first thing that is happening is the Chitta receives that information and it is saying that, oh, that is something which I know. Right? And then Buddhi identifies what is that stimulus. Right? It has access, all of them has access to the vasanas. And the mind is dealing with the emotions with that particular, for example, if I come across samosa, and in the past I have eaten samosa and I liked it. So it compares what was my experience with that samosa. Right? I liked it, right? So that is the role of ahankar, that I-ness is added to that. But dealing with the emotions is the role of mind. It deals with that emotion that, oh, I liked it. And then I associate that thing with myself. Therefore, it becomes even stronger.
I didn't like.
I didn't like it. So I-ness, when it comes, it becomes, so like it is one emotion, but I like it is a stronger emotion. Right? So like samosa, some of them they like it, some of them they dislike it. But in my case, I like it because of my past experience, which is stored here. Right? So this is how they are all coordinated. So all these things are antakaran. Right? Okay, so
This Vashana includes both good and bad impressions, right? Not just
Hmm?
both good and bad impressions.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah.
Not
all the whole
like every
any
pratyaya,
impressions.
everything you see around, everything is recorded. Right?
All the samskaras that we do are the vasanas. All the
Removal.
Removal. It removes that. Or it replaces the bad one with
Bad with the good one.
good one.
So I have put some details over here and maybe I'll share the slides so you can read it. So chitta, what is chitta, what is buddhi, the role of manas, right? And ahamkar. So when we replace these material impressions with spiritual impressions, we are putting new impressions. And that is the process of bhakti. Right? It is gradually replacing that. Okay. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that we need to cleanse our chitta. So Cheto Darpana Marsha.
So it's really not cleaning, it's replacing your bad impressions, material impressions with better impressions.
Yes. So actually, it is cleaning also. Because see, we are now focusing when cleaning means what? First you are replacing with new ones. Now there are so many impressions, right? Other impressions. Because if you see the example of moonlight, so there are so many other impressions also. Right? Now, when we change body, who is activating those things? Correct. Based on our karma, it is getting activated, right? But if our karma is erased, those activations are not required.
So how it gets cleansed, Prabhu?
because it is not accessed. वो hidden files बन जाते हैं ना.
नहीं तो वो cleanse होगा ही नहीं फिर.
नहीं,
वो वाला area नहीं होगा.
वो जरूरत ही नहीं है ना, because it is replaced with a new ones. It is replacing and it is burnt off.
Okay. So like now we are in human body and we are replacing our past experiences within that area with these new impressions.
Yes.
As we become devotees,
Right.
so-called devotees.
Yes.
Right. So let's say next time when we take birth in human body, our impressions would be what we have now versus what was there in the
Yeah,
past,
because
right?
with that you are going in the next body with how are you going in the next body?
Yeah, and hopefully we are not going into a lower body.
No,
because if you go,
yeah, that our acharyas have already said that once you start practicing bhakti, human body is guaranteed.
right.
Because without human body you cannot practice.
Correct. So basically, you will never have the requirement to
Of
go and access those
those impressions at all.
So you keep on replacing these
With the
impressions.
new ones.
Prabhu, I have a question. Sorry, this is Sandeep.
Yes, yes. Prabhu.
So, Prabhu, I could not capture the. Sorry, I was also transitioning. But what is like replacement and cleaning? Like for example, is like Shravanam Kirtanam is basically the cleaning part of it, or is
Yes.
it the replacing part?
Yeah, when we engage in bhakti, and that is the last slide will be done that. When we engage in bhakti, the process of bhakti helps us. The first effect of bhakti is kleshagni. Right? So, what is kleshagni? Kleshagni is the klesha that is coming in our life. Bhakti erases all the kleshas. Now, how the kleshas are generated? That is based on the karma and the impressions that is there in our life, in our chitta. So, kleshagni means it erases bhakti. The process of bhakti erases all that kleshas. Is related with karma and impressions both simultaneously.
Klesha is bad karmas and bad impressions.
So impressions, which is related to, because what happens is, if you see, remember that impressions are stored and something that triggers that impression brings the thought and all those things of enjoying back up. But now we have capacity to resist. Because of the knowledge, we have capacity to resist. So that cycle is broken. Right? That cycle.
The impressions are not clear, they're still there.
Eventually, the impressions will be cleared, because we are replacing with newer and newer impressions, like the bhakti impressions.
Dark spots, they will all be.
Yeah.
With bhakti.
Yeah. So here you see this diagram says that you have these material impressions, material emotions, and bondage. But if you replace everything with spiritual impressions, spiritual emotions, and liberation, that will help you towards liberation. But if we have bad experience in bhakti due to bad association, then it will again, though we are in bhakti, we are not going to progress. So therefore it is said, swajatiya snigdhe, you have to associate with those devotees who are like-minded, who want to progress in bhakti, and not, waste your time on other things. Right? Therefore it is said like that. Because those will create bad impression in bhakti. Right. So therefore it is very important to have swajatiya, means people who are with whom you are associating have the same desires as your desire.
And sabka crux hai ki free will. We have to use it.
Or free will, yes. With the
Push
knowledge,
us,
yeah.
right.
Yeah. And therefore with association, the free will automatically happens. Right? If you stay in association, they will push you. A good association will push you. Good association will push you towards that. So therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Cheto Darpana Maharaj. Damodar Prasad Prabhu said that, right? It's the same. First you have to clean our Cheta. Right? Now, when we clean our Cheta, what will happen is, this is the really important part, and this is connecting with Bhakti. Do you remember Bhakti. So remember this diagram, stages of chanting of holy name.
Yeah.
Harinam Chintamani. So this is given by Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur. However, this book is written by Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur. So there are three stages of chanting. One is the Namaparad, the Namabhas, and Suddhanam, and then Bhavanam and Premanam. So if you remember, I told that, in the beginning stage, the requirement is Shraddha. You need to have the faith, Adav Shraddha. That's how where you get the name. Somebody introduce you to Harinam. Right? But unless we go through the stages of cleansing, right? Nam Aparad stage, right? Where we actually clean. Nam Aparad is the beginning stage where we chant as well as we perform Aparad. But if we are somehow or other able to cross that stage and go to this Suddhanam stage, which is the stage of Nishtha, right? So there in our Chitta, Krishna manifests himself, and this is called as Rupa Yukta Nam. So this happens at the stage of Nishtha. Meaning, if you remember this verse, Ata Shri Krishna Namadi Na Bhavet Grayam Indriye Sevan Mukhe Hi Jivado Swayam Eva Spuratyada. What is the meaning of the last line? So we cannot experience Krishna through our senses, because our senses are what? Limited and material. Krishna is spiritual and senses are material. Hare Krishna. So with material senses, we cannot experience spiritual Krishna. But when we engage our tongue, Sevan Mukhe Jivado, then Krishna by his own will, he manifests himself. Where does he manifest? In our Chitta. Right? So,
Is it because apart from the soul, the only other pure thing in us is Chitta?
Chitta, yes. Is a pure consciousness, right? It's dirt because of, remember we went through all the thing, that all the impressions are creating dirt, and finally, we go through the cleansing process. And the cleansing process is the process of engaging in devotional service. So, Srila Sridhar Swami in Bhavartha Deepika, he says that this particular verse is the definition of, hopefully I will be able to open this now. So from here I can't. Okay. See.
So Prabhu, the super soul is not yet defined anywhere here. Super soul. So appearing of Krishna is nothing but the super soul in the Chitta.
चलिए आगे था आपने type
हाँ
कर
मैंने
दिया।
वो लिंक करने के लिए. Just give me 1 second. This is the definition of Chitta in the 3rd canto, 26th chapter, verse 22. This is the characteristics of Chitta. It is Sochatvam, Avikaratvam, and Santatvam. So let's. So here, Srila Sridhar Swami, who is the original commentator of Srimad Bhagavatam, he says that Sochhatvam means Bhagavad Bimba Grahitvam. Meaning, the Chitta has a capacity to show the reflection of the Supreme Personality of Godhead or the form of Krishna. Suddha Chitta. When our Chitta is pure, so Bhagavad Bimba Grahitvam. Grahitvam means it can hold. Bimba means reflection. So Suddha Chitta can hold the reflection of Krishna when Krishna shows that his form. where does he show? On our chitta. But if your chitta is contaminated, it will Krishna will not show. Krishna will not show himself. So this happens at the stage of Nishtha. Okay, yes.
No, I'm just asking, Krishna showing himself on the chitta is nothing but super.
No, Krishna, the personality of Godhead. Yeah, because you are not interested in super soul.
No, where is the super soul now?
Super soul is assisting in everything. Super soul is Upadrashta Anumantas.
I thought super soul is, it's not Bhagwan.
He is Bhagwan, but you are not interested in Bhagwan, right? I mean, you are not interested in Paramatma, right? What is your goal? That form will be shown. Right? If Ashtanga Yogi is seeing it, he will see Paramatma.
Okay.
If a Bhakti Yogi is seeing in Krishna's whatever form we are interested in, that particular form Krishna will manifest in our chitta. But for that, chitta has to be pure.
Yeah, and that can only happen by good chanting.
Yes. The cleansing through this. If we have to come to this stage. So for devotee, this is a path. They go from devotional service, from Namaprad, they go to offenseless chanting. From here, they go to Chaya Namavas. From Chaya Namavas, they go to Suddhanam. They skip all these things. Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna. I think mostly I've covered. Only I think one slide, but I'll share. But it's 9:03. I think. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
So you said they skip all this, but the concept they point here.
We don't go
Oh,
through
yeah,
Namadas.
okay.
Yeah, we don't go through
Yeah.
all this. So at the stage of Nishtha, we can see the form of Krishna. At the stage of Ruchi, we see the guna, the qualities of Krishna. At the stage of Asakti, we see the Leela. And at the stage of Bhava and Prema, you experience Rasa. All this is happening in the Chitta. Right? So the first stage is Rupa Yuktana. And therefore, there is a newsletter by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. This is the last slide. And in this, I have put a link here. I'm going to share the slides. So you can read this article. It's a very nice article. It tells you about what stages, what happens. So the first stage is you get the Nam, right? And it is compared to sugarcane juice. And then the second stage is the stage of Nishtha, which is Rupa Yukta Nam. It's compared to liquid molasses or good. Third stage is Guna Yukta Nam. Fourth stage is Leela Yukta Nam. And what is the qualification of this? All these things. First is Shraddha. Second is Nishtha, right? Where you see the Rupa Yukta Nam. Third, at the stage of Ruchi, you get the Guna Yukta Nam. Fourth is Asakti, where you see the Lord's pastime in the Chitta. And Bhava and or Rati, you experience the Rasita Nam, which is basically Nam with Rasa, all the Rasas. So basically you see the entire thing in your Chitta. This is the end of this discussion. Metaphysics of Prana and Chitta.
Is this all in that tiny URL, Prabhu? Or?
I'll share it here. It's there in the tiny.
उसी में है.
But I'll share in the WhatsApp group also.
So the crux of the whole thing is chanting and devotee association.
Association. In association, we have to like-minded Swajatiya and Snigdhe. Okay. So I'll stop here. It's 9:05. Online, any questions or thoughts? Okay.
So, Prabhu, very good class, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Srila Prabhupada की जय,
Jai.
भक्तिनाथ ठाकुर की जय, श्रीदेव गोस्वामी की जय, महाराज परीक्षित की जय, श्रील विश्वनाथ चक्रवर्ती ठाकुर की जय, श्रीमद ग्रंथराज श्रीमद भागवतम की जय, गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि।
ये समृद्ध